Hello and welcome. I am Bradley Olson and this is Brad Makes Games. Today I'll be showing you Battle Tank, a physics-based tank combat game I made over the last 2 months using Unreal Engine 4. I'm particularly excited to show you this one, as it showcases my first work that reminds me of the professional AAA titles I grew up playing. Driving a tank in Battle Tank feels very similar to driving a tank in Battlefield 1, and that is really exciting for a relatively new creator like myself. The game also was my first major foray into using C++ with Unreal Engine 4. I used inheritance to allow blueprint tools for component spacing, physics constraints, and particle effects to interact seamlessly with C++ backend code. It was a real victory. So without further ado, here's Battle Tank. So I have buttons here to access a few different things. There's a controls menu which shows the layout for either a controller or a keyboard, and either works with this game because Unreal is very nice about letting you map controls to whatever setup you deem necessary. Also, there's a development resolution map, which I used to develop the game. As it shows here, it's very low resolution and intentionally flat. But when you do that, when you make a very visually flat map, it allows it to load quickly, and you can iterate very quickly through all sorts of tanks, most of which were differing levels of non-functional to begin with. But that's an example of one of the basic game loops and the assets in a low resolution map. And now I'll take you into the high resolution map. The goal with this one was to really test out what I could accomplish with the engine and its rendering, putting together a landscape that's a little more realistic and has some features that I enjoyed experimenting with. This grass does load up a little slow, so I'm looking into ways to reduce its footprint. But the basic gist of this mode is that you've got 3 enemies, and they're all firing at you, you're firing at them, and if you score a hit within 10 meters of an enemy, then they will receive damage. Same with you. But there's an additional effect for the player where if they score a direct hit on an enemy tank, then the player heals for half the value of the damage that they dealt to the enemy tank. And the whole goal of that is to make things a little more fair. Enemy tanks had a massive advantage in the early testing phases of this game, and that's because all of them were mechanically exactly the same as the player tank. So I needed to give the player some way to take shots and keep moving forward and stay in the fight for a little longer, and that was the method I picked up on. But thanks for taking a look at this game with me, and I'll see you in another video.